Hello beautiful people of the world, welcome to my channel. My name is Shay and in today's video I'm going to be doing my 32-week pregnancy update. I'm currently 33 weeks, but I did film this bump shot last week to make sure I could put it in, so let's jump right to the bump shot and we'll be right back. At this point baby is about 16.5 inches long. Generally baby is about 3.5 to 4 pounds, so about the size of a head of lettuce. So that's my belly with my little head of lettuce inside of it. Let's move on to what's been going on in week 32 of pregnancy. I did actually have my doctor's appointment this week. In my last video I was talking about how I had very low iron and I actually failed my glucose test. I took the 1 hour one and I failed that. My sugars were really high. So my doctor said I had to come off of sugars and carbs, and they put me on a different prenatal for my iron. They also sent me for the longer glucose test and I actually ended up passing that one, so thank goodness I do not have gestational diabetes. I'm kind of on the border slash verge of it, so I need to be really careful still about what I'm eating, but thankfully I do not need to take insulin or things like that to add to the complications that I've already had this pregnancy. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this is an HG pregnancy, hyperemesis gravidaeum I think it's called, and essentially it is extreme nausea and vomiting to the point where your body, you lose a lot of weight, you can't keep food down for days and days if not weeks, not even water, you're hospitalized, you get an IV drip. It is a hot mess and I am still on my full medication for that, and unfortunately in the third trimester the morning sickness, the HG, those symptoms came back on overdrive again. I kind of had a couple weeks of a little bit of relief in a little bit of a way. I was still very sick, but I had a little bit of relief and I was able to eat a little bit more, and now I'm throwing up all the time again. My acid reflux is very bad, so my heartburn, I have to take Tums a lot, and even the Tums is nothing. But unfortunately the throwing up has come back very badly. So that's been a little bit hard, but I'm managing with it. They did weigh me at my last appointment before this one, and they were very concerned because I had gained 47 pounds this pregnancy. Even despite my HG pregnancy where I lost 17 pounds at the beginning, I ended up gaining 47 pounds after that, and it got pretty scary that I lost so much weight, and then I ended up gaining so much weight that they got very scared. So that was kind of in hand with the whole diabetes situation they were talking about, and my doctor told me 4 weeks ago, you need to not gain any more weight this pregnancy. It is not good for you and the baby. So she said, next time I see you in 4 weeks, I better see a plateau in your weight. And obviously in that meantime is when my sugars came back high and my iron, so I started really watching what I was eating and cutting out sugars and carbs because of doctor's request. And because of all of that, I actually ended up gaining a little bit of weight and then like losing weight and kind of fluctuating. So I came in at, they count kilos here, I do pounds, but in Canada where we are, we're supposed to do kilos I think. She said I gained 1 kilo, so I was 226 pounds at my 32-week appointment, and she said that was okay. Like, she wasn't too happy, but she wasn't too concerned. And a lot of it also is the fact that the baby at this point is gaining weight, so I'm able to hopefully just keep maintaining my weight, and it'll just be the baby's weight that's added on at this point. My next appointment is in 4 more weeks, which is gonna be my 36-week appointment, and that is when they're gonna obviously do my weight again and then do the Strep B test, and that's where they take a swab and swab you down there and test for this kind of like bacteria, I think it is. And if you test positive, all that happens is when you're in labor, you have to go in and they hook you up to like an IV and give you some antibiotics. So it's not a huge deal, but they just kind of test everyone just to make sure once you're closer to the end of your pregnancy. It is very uncomfortable at this point in pregnancy. Like, I am just ready to meet them already. Obviously, a couple more weeks, little one, because we don't want them to be preemie and come too early, but I'm just so uncomfortable all the time. Every night now I'm getting those really bad Charlie horses in my calf, and it hurts so bad and nothing relieves it, and it's just like so uncomfortable. And the joint pains and the soreness is just crazy. I'm starting to get just like pains and pressure down there because baby's head is, you know, kind of pushing down there a little bit more, and baby's body. My belly is very heavy at the bottom. So this pregnancy I've been carrying very low. My daughter, I carried her very high, but this pregnancy, the baby has been very low this whole time. And so it's just really heavy on the bottom of my belly. I've gotten a lot of stretch marks this pregnancy, whereas my last pregnancy I didn't really get any. Not that that's a huge deal, but I do think it's because the baby is so much lower that my belly is getting crazy stretch marks this time around. All of the baby's kicks are like way in my side back here. It is so weird. Like normally with my daughter, I'd feel it up by my ribs or like up at the top or very down at the bottom because she was breech for a little bit. But this baby, it's like in my side or in my groin. Like how are you kicking there? I don't get it. How are you getting your foot in there? But anyways, it is very uncomfortable. The kicks kind of hurt now, and they don't really kick that much anymore because they are so big, so it's more so just like them moving, and then my belly will move and it'll just be like their body moving, which is also very creepy and alien-like, but kind of cute at the same time. Their heart rate at this appointment was 145. Again, it has been constant the whole time, 145 range, so yeah, good heart rate. Each appointment they do measure my uterus with a measuring tape, so they put the tape up here and then the other one at the bottom of my uterus, and each week, same with my daughter's pregnancy previously, I am measuring 1 week behind what I am. I carry my babies very small. My belly is very small. People are always shocked when they ask when I'm due and I say, oh, in 6 weeks, and everyone's like, what? You're so small, you look like you just got pregnant. So even though my belly is very uncomfortable and to me it's very big, to other people they're very shocked by the fact that I have a small belly. It might just be because I'm very tall. I am 6 feet and I have very wide hips, very, very big hips. So the baby is just kind of in there and chilling, and it kind of has more room inside, so I don't need to grow outwards as much. That's my mindset of why I'm thinking that's happening. I don't really know, but I think it has to do with my height as well. I have been in crazy nesting mode for the past few weeks. It has been like an overly like need that just consumes me to clean everything, like the little corners of everything, the baseboards, the blinds, everything's being dusted and reorganized 30 times over, which is honestly a good thing, but also very exhausting when the morning sickness is back so intense. So I've kind of had to take it a little bit easier because I was getting pretty bad cramps and Braxton Hicks contractions from doing all of that. But it's good because I'm getting things organized and ready for the baby, because they could pretty much come whenever now. Hopefully we still have a couple more weeks for them to bake and cook in there, but honestly at this point they could really come whenever. Also, my breasts are definitely getting ready for breastfeeding. I breastfed my daughter for 2 years, and you know, it took about 6 months after I stopped breastfeeding her to kind of get my breasts back to normal. The color went back, you know, the size went back, everything. And then I got pregnant like 6 months after that, so about a year once I stopped breastfeeding I got pregnant again, and now my nipples are like dark again and my breasts are like engorged, and like the other day my partner's like, oh, you're looking very voluptuous today. So they're just like they're very there. They're definitely leaking. Yesterday I noticed they were leaking in the nighttime. I woke up and there was like some dried, like not milk, but like colostrum kind of on me a little bit. So they're definitely starting to produce, which is really great. And like I said, they probably just like, hey, we know what to do, we've done this before. Your breasts and everything there just gets larger in general and darker normally. And yeah, so that's definitely been happening. That's probably like the biggest change, or the kind of biggest thing that's happened that is giving me like the mindset of like, okay, I'm nearing the end of this pregnancy. Like this is happening, the baby is coming. Like they're coming in the next 6 weeks. That's crazy. I mean, unless I go overdue, but with everything going on. Now, I did talk to my doctor about the whole COVID situation, COVID birth, which I can do another video all about specifically, but essentially where I live, how it works for COVID is when I go into labor and go into the hospital that I've already registered at, I go in and they're going to test myself and they're going to test my partner for COVID when we first go in, when we're in labor. And all that happens, if we test positive, they will not take the baby away from us, because I have seen some places in the States, some people were saying that their baby got separated from them and they had to like, their baby had to like quarantine away from them for like 2 weeks. That's terrifying. So I was very scared about that. So I asked my doctor, where I live, if I were to test positive, I wouldn't do anything different. I would still have to wear my mask and whatever. The only difference is the doctors and the nurses would wear extra PPE, like the extra protective gear and everything. And then when the baby is born, whether I test positive or not, they're going to also do a COVID test on the baby. And my doctor literally said to me, she's like, I know it doesn't make sense because the baby hasn't actually been exposed technically to COVID, but they do still have to, by the rules that have been made up, that the baby will have to get a COVID test as well, which is fine. So it gives me peace of mind because if I were to test positive, the baby will not get taken away from me. They will stay in the room with me. She said literally nothing changes for me and nothing changes for the baby, except for the fact that the doctors and the nurses will wear extra gear and just be extra cautious. So that made me feel a lot better with everything going on. Again, that is just my hospital where I am going to be delivering at. So you might want to check with your doctor in your hospital, but it gave me a really good peace of mind and relief that it's okay, it'll be okay, because I was just really scared of being separated from my baby if I were to test positive. That is it for my 32-week update. Hopefully I will see you in the next update. I kind of keep forgetting to do these. Hopefully I can do another one before I deliver. Definitely by my next doctor's appointment, I'll do another one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Oh my god. I had to film this on the floor because of the lighting, and now I can't get up. I like taking baths, but I can't even get out of the bathtub anymore by myself. Oh god. Anyone else struggle? Ugh. Olympic sport, standing up when pregnant.